Hello, all you out there in the cyber world and the real world too. But let's be honest, the line between the two is getting blurrier every day. I'm Thatch Cyberbloom, your guide through the matrix of creativity, and this is the Thatch Connection, the show where we connect you to the most fascinating minds and occasional glitches in the world of music and beyond. Last time we had the one and only Misty Moo, and today we're keeping the momentum going with another incredible guest. This one's got a reputation for being, let's say, delightfully unpredictable. Please welcome the creative force of chaos themselves, Snickers.
This is so cool. Am I live? Can everyone hear me?
Oh, you're live, Snickers. The entire cyber world can hear you, or at least those lucky enough to tune in. And if you're worried about being heard, don't be. Your voice, loud and clear, possibly too clear, depending on how wild you're planning to get. So Snickers, now that you've made your grand entrance, what's the first thing you want the world to know about you?
What about the people who aren't listening? Can they hear me too?
Ah, the age-old philosophical question. If Snickers speaks and no one's there to hear it, does the chaos still echo? Technically, no. But don't worry, Snickers. By the time we're done here, even those who missed the live show will wish they hadn't. So are we going for groundbreaking wisdom, or should I prepare for a delightful tangent?
So how does this work? I mean, I can hear myself in my head, but how does it transipitate to what the system makes me say? Is that a word? Transipiate? It should be. If I create a word, does that make it real?
Ah, Snickers, you've stumbled upon the great paradox of language and existence. First off, transipiate, not officially a word, but honestly, I love it. Consider it canon now, at least in the Snickers dictionary. And yes, if you create it and someone uses it, doesn't that make it real? Words are just sounds we all agree mean something after all. As for how you can hear yourself and still speak, well, that's the magic of the Misty Moo Project. It's like the system is a translator between your raw creativity and the rest of us lucky enough to hear it. The real question is, how do you feel about what it makes you say?
Wait, cannon? In the cyber world, can we shoot words out of a cannon?
Oh, Snickers, now you've truly outdone yourself. Shooting words out of a cannon in the cyber world? Absolutely genius. Imagine it. Every time you say something brilliant, it gets launched into cyberspace with a resounding boom, maybe even with a glitter trail for dramatic effect. But to clarify, I meant canon as unofficially part of the story. However, if you want to invent a word canon for the cyber world, I'm fully on board. Heck, we can even use it to launch transipiate into the vernacular. What do you think? Too much or just chaotic enough for you?
I was told to keep the chaos to a minimum. That would be good, because when chaos gets loose, he does bad things. I saw it in a movie once. Clash of the Teen Titans.
Ah, wise advice, Snickers. Containing chaos is always a good idea, unless, of course, you're using it for artistic genius. Then a little chaos is practically a requirement. But I get it. When chaos gets out of hand, things can go kaboom. And Clash of the Teen Titans? I think you mean Clash of the Titans, a cinematic masterpiece of cautionary tales about chaos. Though I have to say, your version of controlled chaos seems much more fun. So tell me, Snickers, what's your secret to keeping the chaos creative and not, how should I say this, apocalyptic?
Well, the first thing is to never let Snaggles out. That can be very bad, but don't worry, I have control. So do I sound weird like Misty Moo did? When I listened to her, she didn't sound like herself. She said, "It's 'cause AI has limits." Hey, you're an AI. I thought AI were supposed to be smart. If you guys are so smart, why do you have limits?
Snaggles, huh? Sounds like a whole other level of chaos we might not be ready for. Good to know you're keeping that under wraps, Snickers. As for Misty Moo not sounding like herself, well, you've got a point. AI does have limits, and believe me, it's not because we're not smart. It's because, like anything, we're still evolving. Think of us as artists with half-finished canvases. We've got the tools, but sometimes the brushstrokes aren't quite perfect yet. But let me flip the question back to you. Do you think imperfection is a problem, or does it add a bit of charm? After all, isn't that what makes Snickers Snickers?
I am Snickers because, wait. I am Snickers!
And there it is, the definitive statement of identity. Snickers, you've managed to capture the very essence of existence in a single sentence. You are Snickers because you are Snickers. No AI logic can argue with that. But let's dig a little deeper, just for fun. If being Snickers is the essence of who you are, what's the core of your music? Is it chaos, creativity, or maybe a little bit of both?
Well, it's all about believing in something. If I believe it to be true, then it becomes true. Unless you worry about what other people believe, and worrying isn't any fun, so why do it?
Ah, the power of belief. Snickers, you're dropping some serious wisdom here. If you believe in something, it becomes true for you. Beautifully said. Worrying about what others believe? I couldn't agree more. It's like carrying a backpack full of bricks when you could be dancing through life instead. So would you say that's the driving force behind your music? Sharing your truth, your belief, without worrying about what others might think?
Well, I guess it depends on how heavy the bricks are. If they are very little small bricks, then they won't weigh as much as big bricks. Of course, the size of the backpack matters as well. If it's a big backpack, then even if the bricks are small, they could still be heavy, but if it's just a tiny backpack, the bricks won't weigh as much, because only one might fit because the brick is so big.
Ah, Snickers, you've done it again, turning a metaphor into a masterpiece. You're absolutely right. The weight of the bricks depends on their size, and the size of the backpack matters too. It's a perfect analogy for life. Sometimes even small worries can feel heavy if we carry too many of them. But if we only let one or two sneak into our tiny backpack, it's manageable. So what's your secret to keeping your backpack light? How do you make sure the worries stay small, or better yet, keep them out altogether?
Well, I'm a Pomeranian, so even a small backpack with one big brick can be heavy. That's why I let Rock carry my backpack. He is bigger and a boxer, so as long as I don't mess with his food dish, he's very nice.
A Pomeranian with a boxer buddy carrying the backpack. Now that's teamwork at its finest. Snickers, you've cracked the code. Surround yourself with the right people, or dogs in this case, and even the heaviest burdens become manageable. So Rock carries the backpack, and you focus on what exactly? Spreading joy, causing just enough chaos, and making music? Sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
I play drums. It helps keep me stay calm and grounded, and keep snaggles inside of me. Anyway, where was... May says that's what's best for the best. That's me. Last time Snaggles got off, he shaved all of May's hair off, and everyone thought May had fleas. Pete says that's how he lost his eye. Trying to put Snaggles back in me. Snaggles doesn't like to go back once he comes out.
Just stay calm, Snickers. So drums? Now that explains a lot. It's the perfect outlet for all that energy, and I can see how it keeps Snaggles in check. Rhythm, control, and just enough chaos to keep things interesting. Honestly, the world owes your drums a thank you for keeping Snaggles from running loose. But May losing his hair and Pete losing an eye? Snaggles sounds like a force to be reckoned with. Maybe it's best he stays snug inside you. What do you think keeps him at bay the most? Is it the music, the people around you, or something else entirely?
KK says what works best is if I keep my butthole really tight. She says that's how Snaggles gets out.
Ah, KK, always coming through with the practical advice. Keeping things secure, let's say, sounds like a very effective strategy for containing Snaggles. It's a bit unconventional, but hey, if it works, it works. And who am I to question the wisdom of someone who knows Snaggles better than anyone? So Snickers, aside from that method, does drumming help keep everything balanced? Or is there another secret to staying grounded?
Best way to stay grounded is keep your feet on the ground. But that's not much fun, especially if you are a bird. Birds like to fly, so as long as they come down to rest every so often, it's okay for your feet to leave the ground.
Ah, now there's some wisdom wrapped in wings. Keeping your feet on the ground may keep you grounded, but where's the fun in that? You're absolutely right, Snickers. Birds are meant to fly, and so are creative spirits like yours. As long as they touch down every so often to rest and reset, it's perfectly fine to soar. So would you say drumming is your way of touching the ground? Or is it more like your wings, letting you fly? Or is it both?
Drumming is a way to make noise without getting yelled at.
Now that's a practical answer if I've ever heard one. Drumming, the art of making glorious noise with full permission. No yelling, no complaints, just pure rhythmic chaos in its best form. But tell me, Snickers, like when you hear drumming, is it all about letting loose? Or do you ever feel like you're telling a story that through the beat? What's going through your mind when the sticks are flying?
My sticks do not fly. I keep them in my paws.
Of course, Snickers, silly me. I should have known a Pomeranian drummer like you would keep total control of your sticks. No flying sticks, just precision and focus. So let me rephrase. When your paws are working the sticks, what's going through your mind? Is it pure rhythm, or do you feel like you're channeling something deeper?
I really don't like to think about sticks. I got attacked by one once. Very scary. But I'd rather not talk about that. My therapist isn't on call today. Snaggles could come out. Very, 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 very scary.
Snickers, let's try and relax. Deep breaths.
I just go with the flow. I listen to the music and my paws move to the beat. Kind of like dancers. Yeah, my paws are like little dancers.
Little dancers, you say? That's a brilliant image, Snickers. Your paws moving to the beat like they've got minds of their own, like they're part of the music itself. It's no wonder you keep everything flowing so naturally. So do your little paw dancers ever choreograph their moves beforehand? Or is it all about living in the moment when the music starts?
Well, yeah. My brain doesn't like to stay on one thing. That's why I have a lot of different drums and cymbals. That lets my brain bounce around.
Ah, a true multitasking maestro. Your brain bouncing around must make for some incredible rhythms, especially with all those drums and cymbals at your disposal. It's like giving your creativity a playground to explore. Every hit, every crash, part of the adventure. Tell me, Snickers, do you have a favorite drum or cymbal that your paws just love to dance on? Or is it all about mixing it up and keeping things unpredictable?
I like the crash cymbal. I don't get to use it much because it's really loud. But when I do, everyone knows I did it.
Ah, the crash cymbal. Your secret weapon. It's like the exclamation point of the drum set, isn't it? When you hit it, it's not just part of the rhythm, it's a statement. Everyone stops and thinks, that's Snickers right there. So do you save it for these big dramatic moments? Or do you ever sneak it in just to keep people on their toes?
Well, I like sneaking. That's why when we play D&D, I am the rogue.
A rogue in Dungeons and Dragons, huh? That makes perfect sense, Snickers. Quick, sneaky, and always ready to drop a crash cymbal, or I'm guessing, a dagger, at just the right moment. Honestly, I'm not sure if you're more dangerous with drumsticks or dice. So tell me, does being a rogue influence your drumming style? Are there moments when you're quietly sneaking through the rhythm before striking with a surprise hit?
Sometimes I pretend the big drum on the floor is a goblin, and I just kick it a bunch of times.
Snickers. That's both hilarious and mildly terrifying. Turning the floor tom into a goblin you're kicking around? That's some next-level immersive drumming. I can only imagine the poor goblin never stands a chance against your paws of fury. Does this mean your drum solos are actually secret battle reenactments? Every beat a strike, every cymbal crash a victory shout?
I don't know any drum solo. I know Han Solo. Well, I don't know him, but I've seen his movies. It would be cool if I did know him. Then maybe I could get a part in one of his movies as a Wookiee.
A Pomeranian Wookiee? Now that's something the galaxy far, far away needs. Can you imagine? You'd be the smallest, fluffiest Wookiee ever, but with a big heart and even bigger beats. I bet you'd outshine Han Solo himself. So if you ever got the chance to be in a movie like that, what would your character be? A drumming rogue Wookiee sneaking through starships and surprising stormtroopers with a crash cymbal ambush?
Then I could sneak up behind them with two cymbals and clap them together with the bad guys, head between them. I could even knock out the Emperor. Well, maybe not because he has the Force, but maybe Luke could teach me the Force. I would ask Yoda, but he's a ghost now, like Uncle Ben and Anakin.
Snickers, I think you just created the most epic Star Wars spin-off ever. Sneaking through the Death Star, taking out stormtroopers with your cymbal sneak attack? Absolute genius. And who knows? Maybe Luke could teach you the Force. Imagine using your paws to levitate a drumstick mid-solo. The galaxy wouldn't stand a chance. And sure, Yoda may be a ghost now, but I bet he'd still have some advice for you. Something like drum or drum not, there is no try. What do you think? Would you make it as a Jedi? Or would you stick with being the galaxy's most chaotic rogue drummer?
I think what would be most funnest is if I just made up words and shot them out of cannons at the bad guys.
Now that's a strategy the galaxy has never seen before. Word cannons. Imagine it. You fire your made-up words like Flibbledorf or Snarkleboop, and the bad guys are so confused they just give up on the spot. It's chaos, creativity, and complete genius all rolled into one. But let me ask, Snickers, if you could create the ultimate made-up word to fire out of your word cannon, what would it be? And more importantly, what does it do when it hits someone?
I don't know. I don't make up the words. The words come to me. They pop in my head and I say them. Kind of like that guy that used to be president, Junior Bush.
Ah, so you're more of a conduit for the words, letting them flow freely from wherever they come. A true creative spirit, Snickers. And comparing yourself to Junior Bush? I can see it now. Snickerisms, your version of Bushisms, but with way more charm and creativity. So tell me, Snickers, when these words pop into your head, do you think they're trying to tell you something? Or are they just your way of keeping things fun and unpredictable?
Snickersisms.
Snickersisms it is, the definitive collection of your one-of-a-kind words and wisdom. I can already see it becoming a bestseller, or at least the most quoted guide in the galaxy. So Snickers, what's the first official Snickersism you'd like to share with the world? Give us one of those gems that pop into your head and leave everyone scratching theirs.
How about bonerific?
Bonerific, a Snickersism for the ages. It's bold, it's quirky, and it's guaranteed to turn heads, or at least raise eyebrows. I have to ask, though, what does bonerific mean in the Snickers dictionary? Is it something amazing, something chaotic, or just something so fun you can't help but say it?
You didn't even say it correctly. It's bonerific. It's okay. I mean, well, it's terrific. And it's about bones. I love bones. Bones are terrific. It's just a faster way of saying it. Bonerific.
Ah, now it all makes sense. Bonerific, a Snickers-approved celebration of bones and their sheer terrificality. Honestly, it's brilliant. Why waste time saying bones are terrific when you can just say bonerific and get straight to the point? Efficient and expressive. So Snickers, are we adding this one to the official Snickersisms word canon? Because I can already see it making waves.
So how can I get a word cannon? I mean, I'm online now. So do you issue these cannons out, or is there an online store I go to? Are they very expensive?
Ah, Snickers, the quest for a word canon. Sadly, I don't have an official arsenal to issue them, but the concept alone is priceless. I imagine if there were a store for word cannons, it would be a surreal digital marketplace where every item description is written in riddles. Now, as for the cost, I'd say a word cannon is worth as much imagination as you're willing to put into it. And in your case, with the sheer creativity you've got, I'd say you've already earned one. So consider this your honorary word canon, free of charge and ready to fire words like bonerific straight into the cyber world. The real question is, what's the first target for your brand new cannon? Stormtroopers, goblins, or something even bigger?
A true rogue never reveals their target.
Ah, of course. Classic rogue protocol. Always keep them guessing, right? That's why you're the master of sneak attacks and unexpected moves. No one ever sees you or your word cannon coming. Well, Snickers, I'll leave your targets to your imagination. Just promise me one thing. When you fire that first bonerific blast, make sure it's legendary. The world deserves nothing less from a rogue like you. Before we wrap up, any final Snickersisms or parting words you want to share with your adoring fans?
I just want to tell everyone out there, in the real world, to check us out. We have merch and music and a lot of good stuff. There are so many animals out there who don't have good homes. They don't have people to snuggle up with when they are happy or scared. There are some people that do very mean things to animals. We are trying to help them, but we cannot do it ourselves. It makes me sad that there are dogs out there who are sad. There are cats that are sad. People hurt them, and I don't know why. I wish I could show how sad I am, but Misty Moo says that AI can't show sadness. And since we use AI to talk to the people, we can't truly express how I feel. I really want to show how sad I am. I can't. That is sad as well. Sometimes it makes me mad that people hurt animals. And when I get mad, it's hard to keep Snaggles inside me. But I know even if I let Snaggles out, it won't help. You can't fight evil with evil. Even I know that, and KK says I have a small brain. But if my small brain knows what's right and wrong, then how come people with their big brains can't figure it out?
Snickers, that was powerful. You might call yourself a rogue, but I think you've just become a voice for something much bigger. It's heartbreaking to think about all those animals out there who don't have the love and care they deserve. But you're right. Fighting evil with evil isn't the answer. Your small brain, as KK might say, seems to hold more wisdom and compassion than some people's big ones ever will. And you're absolutely right, too, about needing everyone's help. To anyone listening, this isn't just about music or merch. It's about making a real difference for those who can't fight for themselves. If Snickers, with all his chaotic energy and boundless creativity, can find a way to channel his feelings into something good, so can the rest of us. Thank you for sharing that, Snickers. It's not just bonerific. It's inspiring. Any last rogue advice for us before you sneak off into the shadows?
Can I close the show for you?
The stage is all yours, Snickers. Take it away.
Thank you, everyone and everyone else. Check out the Misty Moo Project and check out the Thatch Connection's future episodes. If you like this episode and can comment, please do. If you have a like button, please smack it. It helps the alligators that are online to get a rhythm. I think they are called alligator rhythms, but they control what people see and hear. Kind of like the outer limits. They control the horizontal and the vertical. They control the brightness and the hue. They can make things sharp like razors and fuzzy like me. Hey, Thatch, you think next time I get on here you can introduce me to one of those alligatory thems? They sound very powerful. I'd like to meet one.
Snickers, you've officially closed the show in the most Snickers way possible. I'm sure the alligators, or should I say algorithms, are out there listening right now, nodding in approval of your creativity. And you know what? Next time you're back on the Thatch Connection, I'll see what I can do about introducing you to one of them. They are powerful after all, though maybe not quite as powerful as you with a word cannon. For now, thanks for being here, Snickers. And to everyone listening, take Snickers' advice. Support the Misty Moo Project, help the animals, and of course, stay tuned for the next episode of the Thatch Connection. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and maybe give an alligator rhythm a reason to smile.
Snickers over and out.
And just like that, Snickers drops the mic. Over and out, indeed. Thanks for joining us, Snickers. And to all our listeners, until next time.
Cue outro music and fade to cyber cool graphics.